Welcome to Fallout 76. This is Jim. Today is Tuesday, September the 2nd, which means we have a new Atomic Shop weekly update that starts today, Tuesday, September 2nd. It goes to next Tuesday, September the 9th, 2025. Of course, we had a brand new update today, a brand new Season 22 Season Pass, which is pretty awesome. All right, let's take a look here. Featured section, rebuild the Heartland. We have the coal and steel bundle. Let's take a look at that real quick here. Original cost is $1,500. A little cheaper for me because I own some items in here already. Pretty cool, like that little floodlight. Now, just an FYI, that industrial floodlight, it's more like a night light than anything. It doesn't really give off a whole lot of light. So just a little FYI there. The Vertiguardian bundle, okay. 2,000 atoms. Let's take a look at that there. Again, make sure you read the description so you know exactly what you're getting. There's several old items in here. Home highlights bundle. Original cost is $1,500. It's heavily discounted for me because I own some items in here already. Get some good items here. So again, we do have the games covered. Again, I do highly recommend that, especially if you do daily, weekly challenges where you have to collect board games. You can just kind of have it right in your camp. It looks absolutely fantastic. And one thing good about scrapping board games as junk, you do get a lot of really useful junk items like gold, asbestos, etc. And again, this is a nice little camp resource, which will passively collect board games. And if you're on the fence, I actually have a video on this games cupboard that I made last year. You can check that out if you so wish. Very similar to this little cookie jar here, nice and small. Again, I think we had this one here last week or the week before. It'll passively collect different types of cakes and snacks, mud cookies, fancy lad snack cakes, funnel cake, for example. And that's good for pre-war food and eat a cake, pie, or candy daily, weekly challenges. Of course, doesn't really collect a whole lot, but I think we got this one here about 2 years ago or so. And you can check out that video I made at that time as well for that bad boy. That's a nice little bundle, though. Coalwood kit by itself for 900 atoms. That's pretty cool. It looks, I like the texture of the building, actually, like a nice little industrial building. I kind of like that. Yeah. Robopaw Steel Dog, 800 atoms, okay? Latest and greatest Robopaw Steel Dog is designed to be man's best friend. Interesting. Now, I'm not too sure if he's a Collectron, because we do have, like the Junkyard Dog, and I'm thinking it is a Collectron. If you guys know for sure, by all means, put it in the comments, but I'm thinking it's just a Collectron. Coalwood floor, 500 atoms. Be expensive for a floor, but I like how it has that, how it's kind of worn away. You can see the rebar through it there. That's pretty cool. Settler's pack backpack. That's pretty nice. 500 atoms. I think that's fairly new. I haven't seen that before. Again, it's not a backpack. It's a skin for a small or standard backpack, and you apply it to your small or standard backpack as a mod at your armor workbench. Railroad water tower, 30% off for 350 atoms. Generates dirty water. So I believe, now I don't have this, but I've been told in the past it only collects 4 dirty water for being such a large object in your camp. But it looks cool, but yeah, I never actually bought it for myself. Again, Floodlight by itself, I don't know how much that would cost by itself, but yeah, it's more like a nightlight. just saying. All right. Sales time for the sales. We have the best of the 2023 Mega Bundle. Again, 4,200 atoms, a little bit discounted for me. And there's our little guy there. Again, we did have this last week. And of course, we have the Modern Home Fusion Core Recharge. And now I have a video on this one here as well. When it first came out, probably about 2.5 years ago or so. And you can check out that video. And again, you can put a charge of 4 Fusion cores at the same time. You don't have to lock it. There's no even option to lock it, so people can't steal from it. And they just charge them at the same time. And I know myself, I don't have power armor, so I just use them for my Gatling laser. So as I'm using 4, I just swap out the 4, let them charge, and use the other 4. That's all I usually basically use it for. But if you are on the fence about this one, there's a lot of great comments in that video I made from power armor users, giving you kind of alternate ways rather than buying this. And I highly recommend actually going through those comments. They're actually really great comments on that. It's a very popular video here on the channel. And you get a bunch of other items. Again, just don't look at the pictures when you're buying these huge mega bundles. Always read the description, all right? So you know what you're getting. Forge Resistance Bundle, 1,800 items for that bad boy. Again, just a bunch of older items kind of placed in a bundle. Make sure you read the description. Nuka-Cola Mega Bundle, 20% off. Original cost is 3,000. Discount is 600. Again, looks like it's a bunch of paints and skins. And there's a couple of nice notable items in here, like this red candy machine. Very similar to the popcorn machine. So the Nuka-Cola candy you get from this will count as pre-war food. It will count as collect pre-war food. It'll count as eat a cake pie or candy. Exact same thing as popcorn from the popcorn machine, and very good to have. You can have both in your camp. This actually came out in season 11 scoreboard way back in the day when Nuka World on Tour was first brand new. And I believe I do have a video on it, but again, it's a very old video, but you can check it out if you so wish. And I also have a video on this bad boy here, this Nuka-Cola Mystery Machine. This is the OG one, the very first Mystery Machine we ever got. Now, if you do watch that video of mine, I believe at the time when it first came out, it was like a 24-hour restock. I believe it's only 5 minutes now, so they greatly reduced it, and you still have to pay the 15 caps to get your random Nuka-Cola product. But they're nice to have in your camp, but yeah, just an FYI there. Mothman Mega Bundle, 20% off, which the cost is 5,000 atoms, discounted for 1,000. Again, it's heavily discounted for me because I own quite a few items in here already. And there's a nice little weather station. Weather stations are good because they usually cost about 1,200 atoms on their own. A bunch of other items in here. Again, make sure you read the description. Just don't look at those pictures, all right? Before you buy. Yeah, it's a lot of items in there, man. All right. Suburban Backyard Bundle, 30% off. Original cost is 1,800. Discount is 540. Again, it's heavily discounted for me. I do have a couple items in here. It's just an FYI. This barn mailbox, it is not a stash box, just a floor decor item. I do have a video on this tire swing tree. You can actually interact with it. Your little character kind of goes inside the little donut there, and it actually swings, which is pretty cool. And again, I do have a video on this Cappy hot tub. It's very similar to the Ghoul hot tub we got last season for Glow of the Ghoul. You can check that out, but it's exactly the same thing. It's on the same slot. I believe it's under miscellaneous structures. Suburban Living Bundle, 20% off. Original cost is 1,800. Discount is 360. And I got some items in here already. Now, talking about this, we talked about this before last week, this rough patch planter kit. This was actually a reward. I think it was during the season 11 scoreboard at rank 100. It was a reward for all players. This is very, very good to have. It's under flooring, and they snap together very easily, and they're very overpowered. So I actually made, for those of you who've been with my channel for quite a while, remember I made a camp just solely using these things. And I don't have the camp anymore, but it was very overpowered, and they can never be destroyed. Like, you know how you have enemies go into your camp, they can destroy your walls, but nothing could destroy these things. But yeah, they're very invincible. So yeah, they're very good. Plus, you can place whatever your workbenches and all that in there instead of your crops, right? You can also do that as well. The Lookout Bundle, 30% off. Original cost is 1,800. Discount is 540. Gonna get some nice items in here. One of the best items, of course, is Tree Sap Collector. Now, again, it does passively collect 10 adhesive while you play the game. Absolutely great camp resource to have, because adhesive is just one of those things that you're constantly using to repair your weapons, craft things, etc. And you don't realize how much you use until you're out. You know what I mean? And having a Tree Sap Collector in your camp or all your camps that'll collect that adhesive for you while you play the game, absolutely fantastic to have. Just an FYI there. Not a big fan of that though, but Roadside Roasters, 50% off. That's more like it. Original cost is 1,200. Discount is 600. Get some items in here. All right, greatest hits, best the best. We have the Nuka-Cola delivery bundle, 30% off. Original cost is 1,300. Discount is 390. Some nice items in here. Just a little word for warning. That little prefab there, that Nuka-Cola delivery truck. So I actually have the blue version of that, and it's very difficult to place things inside. Like it always sinks down in the truck. Now with the new build system, that might be resolved. I haven't tried it yet. I'm just kind of getting home from work kind of deal. But just a little FYI there when you're trying to build using that thing. Wildwood Den, 30% off. Original cost. Oh, sorry. Original cost is 700. It is 490 atoms. There we go, Jim. It's a long day for your old pal here. Wildwood Den here. Nice little prefab. Yeah. Wow. Skull-Lord Warsuit, 30% off for 630 atoms. Very expensive on its own. Probably one of the most expensive outfits we have. The Sphynx Cat, 30% off for 560 atoms. That's pretty cool. So I did make a couple videos in December of 2024. I show you how to place your pets down in your camp, how to craft and install a collar on them, etc. You can check out that video, but I do recommend having a pet in your camp because I know myself, I do, and I find usually every time I log on every day, it gives me a legendary item. It's just like clockwork, and it's a nice little camp friend to have there. Cappy backpack, 30% off for 490 atoms. Again, it's just a skin for a smaller standard backpack. You basically apply this to your smaller standard backpack as a mod at the armor workbench. All right, cute little fellow there. Sap collector by itself, I can't really see how much it costs because I own it. I'm thinking it was like 500 atoms when I bought it, like years ago. But again, it'll passively collect adhesive, 10 adhesive while you play the game. And as I mentioned, you don't realize how much adhesive you use day to day, especially if you don't have Fallout First, right? You only have like a limited amount of, room for your junk until you run out. And you're just like, gee, I got to grab some adhesive. But one of these tree sap collectors in every one of your camps, absolutely fantastic. I'm glad that they actually offer that by itself. The motorcycle, 30% off for 350 atoms. So you can actually interact with this thing. Your character will kind of sit on it there. So just an FYI. Vine set, again, I believe this was, let's say 500 atoms when I bought it last year. But again, you do get a couple different sets. So you get a half wall and a full wall, but you get like a thin vine and a thick vine all in the same set. So very worth it. I really love the vines. I know a lot of other people do, and I'm glad to see that they are offering it by itself. That's pretty cool. Workshop expanded. Red Rocket Garage, good stuff. Again, I can't see how much it costs, but this is one of the first things I ever got in the game, like years and years ago. I've had this for so long. Nice little prefab. Again, those of you who've seen some of my camps, I have a camp like this in pretty much everything that you can use day to day, like between your workbenches, some resource collectors, you can fit in this thing. It's just absolutely perfect. The only thing I don't like is that garage door. When you leave your camp, and you close your garage door, if you say you fast travel something, and you fast travel back, when you look at your camp, your garage door is up. But when you go to the door, the garage door is actually down. It's like a huge glitch, and it's something that they never really fixed. But that's the only thing I don't like about is that garage door that looks like it's up but it's really down kind of deal. Then when you interact with it, it'll kind of fix itself, sync itself, and then go up kind of deal. But yeah, it's kind of odd. Communist Collectron Station, 20% off for 400 atoms. Again, nice having Collectrons in your camp to passively collect items for you. Log Cabin Kit, 20% off for 400 atoms. That's a nice little kit there. Nice and clean. Mole Rat Generator Suite, so 20% off for 720 atoms. Again, you must have the plans for the small, medium, large infusion generators in order to apply this skin in your build menu, okay? Just an FYI there. Spore Plant Bed. That's pretty cool. 20% off for 400 atoms. I actually might get that guy because he will interact with you and he'll actually eat you alive and then he'll kind of spit you out. It's pretty cool. I think I might actually buy this bad boy. Soda Fountain Workbench. Again, it's a skin for the brewing workbench, so the brewing station. So you must have the brewing station plan already. Then you can kind of apply this in your build menu that way. Vault-Tec fountain, 20% off for 400 atoms. I haven't seen this in a very, very long time. Wow. So it dispenses water. I'm thinking dirty water, but yeah, and it cannot be built inside of a shelter because it's a water source. But yeah, I have not seen that for a very long time. That's cool. Giddy-Up Buttercup ride, 20% off for 400 items. Again, we have various different rides just like this. Just basically reskins of each other. A little expensive for what it is and for what I think. Radiation Dummy, again, had this for quite some time as well. And he'll actually kind of glow a little bit, which is pretty cool. Raider Boil, right? So this is the last week for this stuff here. So the Raider Outpost bundle here, original cost is 1,500. And I got some items in here already. The Raider Mylark Boil. So again, I did make a video on this about 3 weeks ago when it first came out. If you have the Mylark Steamer, this is the exact same thing. There's no sense getting this if you have a Mylark Steamer unless you want you have like a smaller camp or a smaller footprint, because this is a lot smaller than the Mylark Steamer, but it does the exact same thing. You cannot have both out at the same time. It's either one or the other, and I kind of show that in that video I made a couple of weeks ago. But one thing that's really good about this, especially if you're new to the game, you have daily, weekly challenges where you have to eat a cooked meal, eat a meat-based meal, and this just saves you about 2 or 3 different steps because it will collect meat and cook it at the same time. Doesn't matter what mutation you are, no mutation, very worthwhile to have. It just saves you a whole whack of time having this. Of course, it benefits carnivores more, but even if you're a herbivore, you can use this for your daily, weekly challenges to get it done quick. Raider Weapons Workbench, 500 items again. It's just a weapons workbench, just a reskin of it under your crafting tab in your build menu. Raider Speed Bag, 500 atoms. A little expensive for what it is. We already have a speed bag here in the game. Excuse me. Raider Skull Pile, again, 500 atoms. If you have a pet dog, basically he'll just kind of dig at it there in your camp. Raider Shooting Target, 250 atoms. Halloween Paint for the Cremator, 500 atoms. Would be nice if a little bit cheaper. Grelock Villain Bundle, 30% off. Original cost is 1,500. Discount is 450. Some random items in here. Yeah, the Captain Cosmos Dark Matter, 30% off for 1,050 atoms. Just a skin for your different types of power armor and the jetpack for that armor. Pretty cool. Varsity Jacket, had this one for quite a long time. So every day, even if you play for about 5-10 minutes a day, I always recommend to come down in this section, as there is a free item in here every day. Sometimes it's caps, sometimes it's utility items such as lunch boxes, repair kits, etc. And I always recommend come here, claim your free item. 250 caps, 250 caps, right? Hellcat Icon, so 70% off. So for 45 atoms. Thought I had that guy, but apparently I don't. Interesting. Family Fun Day Bundle, 50% off. So original cost is 1,300. Discount is 650. Again, heavily discounted for me because I own some items in there. And there's that tree swing again, which we already talked about. There's the games cupboard that you can see there. Has a foosball table. I believe there's a foosball table in the brand new season 22 season pass for tickets. Again, you guys can check that out for you. So I can't remember what page it's on, but again, that might be a little bit better. And these different grills here, which are actually these aren't just skins of the grills that you can't cook, and you can actually cook. These are actually cooking stations. These guys here. So FYI, there. I didn't realize that until I happened to mistakenly purchase something several months ago, and it popped up. I said, "Just check this stuff out," and you're actually able to use these as cooking stations, believe it or not. And it's pretty cool. Train bridge set. So I can only assume, even though it doesn't say here, that this is the free/bonus item for Fallout First members only for the month of September. And if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I believe that's what this is. That's pretty cool. Something similar to the Point Pleasant there. I'm not too sure what people are going to do with this, but I'm sure someone will make a nice camp out of it. Light 'em Up Weapon Bundle, 50% off for Fallout First for 900 atoms. Original cost is 1,800. Some nice little items in here. I've seen quite a few people using these actually during we had Fastnet probably about a month ago or so. They actually didn't look that bad. I was surprised how good they looked. And I think that's it. Oh no, we have something else here. Fallout First Ketchup. Yeah, there we go. Fallout First Season Ketchup. Fallout First Jersey Rips Ketchup Bundle. Okay. Huh. Season 16. That's interesting. So this, so season 16 was the very first season pass that we got, because previous to that was the old scoreboard system. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So these are some old items from like these peeper paints, these surfboards, which is like wall decor. In my gone fishing camp, I have these down. You guys saw that. That's pretty cool. Fallout First Season Catch-Up for 977 atoms. Original cost is 1,500. Jersey Devil Ketchup Bundle. Okay. Nice. Okay. It's nice that they're bringing some of this stuff back from previous seasons now. That's pretty cool. Because, we always talk about that here in the channel. I always get asked questions, previous events that we've had years ago, the old scoreboards. And they do bring stuff back once in a while. So it's good good to see that. Fallout First Catch-Up, so we have 242 atoms, so the original cost of that is 1,500. Again, as you can see, I got a lot of stuff in here. Oh, look at that, the old water boiler. Okay, so I do have a video on this water boiler, and it'll passively collect boiled water. So I know we can go down to a water source, get dirty water, and again, 2 dirty water equals 1 boiled water, but why do that? And you have this water boiler in your camp, just make your boiled water just like that. Boom, done for your recipes and such. That's pretty cool. Yeah, you can check out that video I made on that, actually. Huh. What else we got here? I'm glad I kind of went down that next page, actually. Yeah, right on. Oh, that's so cool. All right, so yeah, so there you guys go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and share when you get the chance. It really helps me out. I'd like to thank my channel members, Artistically Arranged, Michael Edwards, Nigel Whiffen, Heather White Tribe, Mr. Shelton, Drake Stamps, Not Me But Me, Yes Me, That's Me, Drew Ranger, Confounded Bridgeway, Warner, John DJ59, Picaresque, No, Tony Watson, Felix the Cat, Dan Farrah, Benny Bunny, AJ Foltz, Aussies1. Thank you all so very much, and I hope you all have a nice day.